Good morning and welcome on this beautiful Northumbrian morning. It's Saturday the 30th of May. I had to check my watch as usual because days and dates are sort of lost. And we are still, of course, very occupied with the rights and wrongs of the beginnings of a relaxation on our coronavirus regulations next week, with opinion very strongly divided between those who think, hooray, we're going to move forward, and those who are thinking, maybe this is too quick and we risk many more deaths by doing so. And each of us must read the scientific evidence that is available and think about this and take our own decisions. And we have to respect the decisions of others, but also to try and keep safe for ourselves and our families. But alongside this, of course, other things still happen in our world. And there's been an increase of tension in Hong Kong. You may not have read much about it, but it is such that this country has offered citizenship to enormous numbers of Hong Kong Chinese because the country feels their life and their way of living is at risk. And in America, we saw terrible situation in Minneapolis with someone suffering death at the hands of the police force, and then the ensuing outbreak of unrest and violence in the streets. Life is always full of struggle and challenge. And I want to read the last of these special passages the Church has chosen for us as we think about moving to Pentecost. I'm not going to read it all, but I'm going to read part of it. It's from Ephesians chapter 6, starting, I'm going to start at verse 12. The writer talks about putting on the whole armour of God, and goes on to say, "For our struggle is not against enemies of blood and flesh, but against the rulers and the authorities, against the cosmic powers of this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places." And that sounds all a bit sort of cosmic and Lord of the Rings-ish and whatever. It all sounds a bit sort of out there, a massive spiritual battle. But actually, I think that the truth is that that's true to our experience. Our experience is that human beings, people like us, can be corrupted to do such things as kneel on a man's neck until he dies, can be corrupted to abuse the power we have, and the more power we have, often the more we abuse it. We recognize that there is something going on in our fallen world that requires the church to battle, that requires Christians to battle for what is right and good. And sometimes that battle has to be within the church, because within the church we are not completely protected from all this, because power in the church can sometimes be corrupting and decisions can go on that affect the lives of others. But I think what the writer to the Ephesians is saying is that there is a reality that things aren't always right. This is not about political differences of opinion. This is about the fact that anyone and any institution, and indeed the cosmos in which we live, can be corrupted and distorted and warped by what we call sin and death, what the writer calls spiritual wickedness in high places. And as Christians, having had the heart of stone removed and the heart of flesh put in, we have to be prepared to do battle either metaphorically or sometimes through political action for the good of all and for the love which comes from Christ. One of the most common readings at Compline is, "Be sober, be vigilant, for your adversary, the devil, like a roaring lion, prowls around seeking someone to devour. Resist him, strong in faith." As Christians, we have to be aware that there is evil, that there is corruption, and that humanity can be warped and twisted. And we must do all we can, first of all, to be aware, be alert, as the saying goes at the moment, that we don't let this happen to us, that we make sure that the heart of flesh is nourished by the love of God, and that also we work in our world to combat what is evil and to bring about justice and peace and goodness, because that is the task that Christ sets us at Pentecost, to do his will, to be his hands and feet on earth. May God bless us.